Now I see it. Okay.
We're recording, right? You
I think
see
so
it?
this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
This time. You're not supposed to tell them. So this is episode 3 of The Secret Life of a Female Marine, and I have Christian with me because he's just an inquisitive little soul that has so many questions about female Marines. So, Chris?
So many. So we'll continue this because there's plenty of questions, but there's only going to be a couple for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So an interesting thing that I found out that I didn't even know was what not to call female Marines. So working with a couple other female Marines in the business side of the house, I'd reached out to a couple who want to name a bar of soap, a certain thing. And they're like, oh, please don't do that. That's totally derogatory towards female Marines. And I'm like, well, if that's a testament to me having never been around them, never spoke with them, never worked with them my whole enlistment, there it is. So the word was wook or Wookie. So tell us what that means and why it's derogatory and why you shouldn't call a female Marine that.
So Wook is from Star Wars, the Wookiees that make... Can you make the Wookiee noise?
I am very horrible at it.
You
I don't know. I can't do it.
Was that your attempt?
That was a horrible attempt, but that's probably as close as it's going to get.
My Wookiee noise sounds like Cardi B. It's like... I don't know.
Close.
So anyways, apparently Wook is... I guess we all look like them. So every female Marine to male Marines looks like a Wook. And so that's why they call us Wooks.
So it's based on looks alone then, right? So that's what it means. It's meant to be like, because traditionally female Marines are ugly, basically. Is that what it boils down to?
There's a whole hashtag that female Marines are ugly, yeah. Yep.
What?
Yeah. Oh, I tag myself in it. Every single post, I tag myself, female Marines are ugly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot that aren't. And I don't know if times have changed or what, but like I said, I don't have anything to base it off of. I don't have anything because it was never around them. So that's just what we all called them when they were together, but we had no idea to know it was derogatory or not because nobody ever heard us, right? So nobody heard us saying that, and we were all around other dudes that didn't get offended by it. So that's just what we did.
So what do you call a female Marine?
I guess the less derogatory term is the WM. Like that's what we used to, that's what I used to always call them. This is WM. It's just why if you're talking around leadership or something, it's a WM, but you get back. So, I mean, I guess in some way, I guess we knew it was kind of not right. I don't know. Maybe inadvertently.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you call us Wooks?
I know. But I could never be around. I was never around one to try it, though, and be like, hey, don't call me Wooks.
Test it out. Test the waters.
Yeah. So I never was. So
Good.
it was always WM. But, yeah. But then, so if you had to pick, what should we call you?
Marines.
Absolutely.
I am a Marine. I just happen to have the X chromosome. So, but I'm a Marine. I earned my title. Sometimes you put even more work in to prove yourself. And yeah, it's funny. I was at my grandparents today. My grandpa is an Army vet, but he was drafted during the Korean War. And he was telling me all these things that he did and skated around. And I literally left there with my mouth open. Like he was telling me, oh yeah, we'd miss, rifle cleaning and go to the movies and stuff during boot camp. And I was like, there's no possible way. But that's kind of extreme. But, it's never questioned that his service meant something. Whereas I feel like female Marines, we're constantly questioned. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough world. I mean, it's a tough world. Any female that makes the decision to join the Marine Corps, I have mad respect for it because that's I mean, traditionally, it's a man's world. I mean, call it what it is. What percentage of the Marine Corps is female? Do you know? 7%. What is it? It's 7% of the Marine Corps is female.
We are the smallest branch, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, whenever I was in, there was 176,000 in the Marine Corps. I have no idea what total
Marines
manpower is now.
represent 1% of like the total U.S. population, so it's 7% of that 1%. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if there's 200,000 people in there, there's 14,000 female Marines that are
Yes.
in active
There's
duty
so
at
many
any given
times where
time.
I'd be in like briefings and things like that, and I am literally the only female Marine in the room. Like in my unit and at the motor pool, there was a total of 3, including myself, but you also had 55, 60 males there.
I was going
So
to ask if there was any in your unit, or they were just you, you know?
uh, no, that's my shop. That was my shop. As far as the
Yeah.
unit, I mean, we had admin, we had supply, it was second MHG, second Marine Headquarters Group. So it was a vast array of Marines. So there's a good mix between that. But as far as a motor pool, there
Yeah.
was 3.
3.
Yep.
Wow. Did y'all stick together? Were y'all tight, or did you hang out with the dudes more?
No, so one of my sergeants I was tight with, and I know that's frowned upon because I was tight even when I was a PFC, but your options are limited because I didn't want to be one of the boys. I wasn't ready for that. I was, a 19-year-old girl, and I wasn't comfortable. So she and I were close, but there was another Marine there, and there was always a source of tension because I feel like because it's so limited in females, a new female comes and it's almost like we're territorial. I never really had that, but I definitely experienced that.
I can see that. Y'all are totally complicated when it comes to that, because a new dude shows up to a unit.
So complicated. Yeah. And at one
territorial things.
There's some that you just bond with. Unfortunately, a lot weren't in my shop, but in the barracks, I had a group of females that we had the same morals, and we looked out for each other. But there's some that are just like, I think they thrive off that attention, and I pass no judgment because I think I mentioned it before. If you guys were in an area where it's all females and you're the male, I mean, that's, you'd be so excited about that. And I feel like some are a little bit more excited than others, so they feel that other females are competition, It's just
Yeah, like they may, some of us were like, we go through the scenarios and stuff, right? So maybe a girl that maybe not have got a lot of attention before, like previously, they know they can join and be put like in the places that it's predominantly male, and then they get the attention that they want, right? I mean, I don't know if anybody would do enough to join for that, but it's some of the things that, I've heard of and see, like that they just thrive on that attention. And what better place to get attention from how many dudes than join the Marine Corps, right? Like, I mean,
so many classy dudes, like
it's totally classy. I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, right?
Well,
Classy dude everywhere you turn.
What's funny is when I was in Afghanistan, we had porta shitters, and that's the technical term, so that's not cussing, it's porta shitters. And in the porta shitters, they kept getting defaced, and it was by the male Marines, which we know because they would have a list of who they would have intercourse with, right? And I remember this female coming up to me and she goes, "Yeah, you're number 1 and I'm number 2." And I thought, are you upset about that? I mean, that's really scary to me that they're listing my name first. You know what I mean? I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not happy with that. But it was like she came to me like, "Just so you know, you're number 1." Okay, that's freaking terrifying, but all right.
See, that's so much different because there was an environment to where the guys even had that option. Like we had people drawing dick pics on, and like that's all that was on all of our porta shitters. There was nothing else in there, but you don't see anything. You're just around dudes 100% of the time, totally around dudes. And so it's just an interesting thing. One of my best friends was in ground support equipment, so they had females in their shop, but it was more like a 9-to-5 job. Like it was more like you wake up, you PT. You go to work, and then 5 o'clock you're off. You just go like be a mechanic or something. And I don't know that experience because if we weren't training in the field or anything, we just hung out in garrison. Like we do MCI time and PM or Humvees or cleaner weapons but if we weren't at 29 Palms or weren't somewhere learning learning how to fight, learning tactics, learning how to blow stuff up, do anything, we just hung out. And it's such a different feel that somebody can just have a job in the Marine Corps, right? I mean, I don't know.
But I don't think that's female correlated because my unit, or my shop, I should say, which is second MHT Motor T, Mac Motor T, they were the same too. So they were constantly training, and it was, I mean, you left at a certain point, obviously, but if there wasn't anything to do, they always had something to prepare us for, because they knew we were going to get deployed. And when I got in, it was already, first MEF was out there, and we knew we were replacing them. So they did their due diligence and got us ready for that.
Good. So you did have some build up, even though it was non-combative at the time. You still had build up, right?
Yeah.
Pre-deployment checklists of training.
Awesome checklist.
Yeah. Oh. Well, good. I was curious, and we can end on this, but we well, no, I don't want to. That's a whole nother episode now.
What? So, I already know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but so if you could do it all over again, would you pick the same MOS?
I didn't pick it. I was open contract, so no.
Would you do it again? So, or if you could change it, if you know what
again?
You know now, would you change it? No. If you could have any MOS that you were ever exposed to, heard about, had friends in, what would it be? I'm just curious. You don't have to know the number, because I don't even know the number.
I do know the number. So I think I was transparent in other episodes that I'm a terrible driver, and so I basically spent my entire enlistment as an 0411 and the S4. Yep. And that has set me up for success, where literally I got out, and then Michigan, the state of Michigan, has an entire department dedicated to veterans. And because I had so much experience and I had so many awards in logistics, I got a job at the company that I work for now. They typically, you're required a bachelor's, and at the time I didn't have one. And so it was 30 days from the time I got out to the time I had a job. And then from there, so I've been there 7 years, and in that time, I'm actually one of the youngest directors there. So they value work ethic and the knowledge. So I can say my experience extends, 12 years rather than just the 7 that I was there. So the math right? I think it's 13. But anyway, I would have officially been 0411, but just to be very honest and transparent, when I write my resume and I still have my Marine Corps experience on there, it is logistics specialist, because it's not a lie and civilians don't care about the 0411 code. That's what I did. So, yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. Use it. It's rare. I have one other buddy that did computers for the Marine Corps. So he was in the intelligence that did computers and stuff. And he's done very well for himself outside of that. But it's very hard on our side of the house, unless you want to be in law enforcement or anything like that, to use any of the skills. One of my brothers did controlled detonations in to slough off stuff from power plants. So he was the only one that I know of that ever continued to blow stuff up after the Marine Corps, out of everybody I know and everything. Totally jealous jealous of that.
If you could be a contractor, I mean, they lived a pretty great life. So,
but then you're back in the sandbox. I didn't leave anything over there. I left plenty over there, but I don't care to go back. But I know a lot of buddies that went contractor and did that for a few years and made some good money, and then, whatever. So
I have 3 minutes left, and I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I had mentioned tonight, so my whole family lives in West Michigan, so we're pretty close, and not like, I have a very tight-knit, awesome family. And so I was talking to my grandpa about his experience, and I had mentioned he's a Korean war vet. And one of the things that he asked me, and I was like, oh crap, I've never thought about this. He asked me, did anybody stay behind and marry an Afghani woman or knock up one? And I said, that's not, like, I saw it from the Vietnam War. You heard about those stories. You hear about Marines from Japan marrying a woman that doesn't know English. You hear about Korea all the time. Yeah. Do you know of any scenarios?
Zero.
Married? That's the thing. So that's a question we're posing. Has anybody ever heard? Because in all other wars, you even look at World War II, and I guarantee a GI has brought home a wife or knocked a woman up in,
Yeah, and there's TV shows that portray it, like them finding, and my experience, if anybody would have been remotely attracted to any Iraqi woman, there wouldn't have been any, like you couldn't see their faces at that point, right? Everything was
That's
just
true.
so completely
But
different.
maybe you like that, just a very
Yeah, some people may be into that. No, but no, I didn't hear anything. I don't know. I guess it's about the people at the end of the day. Like I do
That's
know a
true.
ton.
I mean, I feel like that would be the same in other wars, but that's definitely an outstanding question. There has to be one, right? There has to be some nasty, whether it's Army, Marine Corps, probably not Air Force, because where were they? Oh, I'm sorry, Air Force. But yeah.
They were in air conditioned freaking trailers is where they were.
They were eating lobster.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good question.
Good for that.
But
yeah, it is. So since the conflict the past 20 years, has anybody married an indigenous person to the sandbox, right?
Yeah, and there's so many stories I have about those women. But we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, but that's a good one. So that's our what is that? Mission America or Mission whatever, to figure out if there was anybody that married a local.
All right, I'm going to post this. I'm going to save this video successfully, and I'm going to post it, and that's going to be the question from episode 3.
Solid.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great night, and we'll get episode 4 out there very soon.
Thank y'all. Semper.
Hold on, I'm going to do this right.